Hello everyone, Marcin here. I'm the creator of WP MultiTool, and today I want to prepare a demo for you that will show you how the plugin works on an empty page. I prepared a page site that didn't have it installed ever before, so it will be a simulation of how you could use the plugin to optimize it. So let me show you how the page works first, and then we'll go through the installation, and I'll try to show you a couple of first features you could use with the plugin. So here's the site. It's already pretty fast, even though it's a pretty bloated site with WooCommerce and a couple of things pre-installed. I wanted to simulate as much as I could, even though that's just a demo to no to add some usual bloat that you can see on websites. By the way, I'm still looking for a real demo sites to show the page on a real use case. So if you have a slow website that you would like me to optimize using the plugin, and I'll just give you the copy of the plugin, and I'll update it for you and set it up and optimize. um, just let me know, like either in the comments or find my email. I'll be happy to do that because I want to record a real demo, not on a prepared site like this. So yeah, so moving forward, yeah, this is a test site. It has a couple of plugins already installed: Elementor, contact form, query monitor, so we can see the speed, redirection, like the usual stuff, like WordPress security, Yoast. So nothing that's out of the ordinary, like that's a usual set. So there's no WP MultiTool plugin yet, so let's install it now. And yeah, upload plugin, and I'll upload the latest version now. Install and activate. All right, so right after the activation, you can see we are redirected to the site health panel of the multi-tool. It has its own fancy styles, so unfortunately there is a lot of notices from other plugins. They will be displayed here, so I'll close them for clarity now. So this one is from the other side, and this one as well, but I can't close it. So what we see here is now pretty much most of it is the output from the plugin itself. So one of the things we can see is that there is this Autoload Optimizer that found 98 options that can be optimized. That's potentially saves 100 kilobytes of autoload data. Autoload data is something that loads on every request on the front end, on the back end. These are basically the options that every request loads. So there's one of the way is you can start optimization is clicking this button. So I highly recommend doing that. There is no harm, because even if these options need to be loaded, WordPress will load them anyway on the later date. The problem with WordPress is that by default, whenever someone writes a code in a plugin and they use options, all of these options are auto-loaded unless developer specifically say that they don't want this to auto-load. But in my 15 years of experience, I've rarely seen anyone doing that. So basically, the more plugin you load, the more options there'll be. So I'll just hit optimize now, and after a couple of seconds it's done. Like also thanks to the data store, there's no reload. Everything happens on the fly. Now going forward, there is one of the biggest things that most of the sites are missing is this, like Redis, which is or any kind of object cache basically. So that's why this is very big thing, and that's one of the first things displayed here. Also here is that there is Redis available on this server. On most of the hostings, it would be available. Only rarely it wouldn't be, but I will cover that, in one of the future videos. But this is really something that's very recommended, that speeds up your websites dramatically. So like, if you want to optimize without reading too much into the details, you could just again click this button, which would take you to this screen, which is the plugin screen of adding this, and this is the plugin you want to install, like Redis Object Cache. There are other plugins for this, but I've been testing this and it's really good, so I really recommend that. So I'll just install and activate it. And after a couple of seconds, yeah, so after activation, still need to enable Object Cache here. So all of this should be green, yeah. So everything is fine. Like, the Object Cache is now working. So we can go back to the site health in WP MultiTool and continue. So we see that there is no notice about that anymore, and the green splash thing is finished because we have finished our onboarding, the first call. So another problem we have is that there are slow queries detected. So let's look at that, but before, you can notice that Redis says active here, and besides that, there is like slow SQL showing in orange, some showing that there are some issues, and Frontend shows there are some issues too, and we'll get to that later. So first of all, let's open slow queries, and these are the queries that were detected. Plugin does that automatically. So when your site runs on the backend, there is a MU plugin, like must-use plugin, a very tiny one that analyzes all the queries on the backend. So it does slow down, say, the site a tiny bit, but that allows you to detect a lot of the bloat or a lot of the improvers, and then once it's done and there are no more slow queries, it can be safely removed or disabled, this model, so there will be no downside of running it. So here are the queries that were found. By default, the plugin is very aggressive. 50 milliseconds is 1/20th of the second. So overall, it's tiny amount of time, but there is a lot of queries that WordPress needs to do on every request. In here, we are doing 57. So these things add up. So later, you might want to increase this to so something higher, like, or if you want to only do the very big optimizations, not this fine-tuned optimizations, you can just increase it or just disable the monitoring if you don't want that. If you want to also monitor queries on the front end, you need to uncheck this and browse the front end for a while. So this information will be gathered automatically for you. But for now, let's look at one of the queries. It shows that most of them are already pretty good. There's this one that's health score is 8, and there is one fix that can be applied. So let's click that, and it shows that there is no indexed, because that in this case the whole query looks weird, because there is a column called unknown, so that's probably some kind of a bug from a plugin. it looks like this is coming from WordPress, so perhaps this is from one of the tests. So in this case, I think we could actually remove it. Normally I would click in the apply index, but it wouldn't work because there's no column unknown. So we'll just remove this this log. It's false positive. Let's look for another one. There is also one here. Probably this is similar. So WordPress is causing false positives in this case. So let's remove that as well. And likely there's one here as well. No, this one is actually relevant. So something from WordPress, probably WC is usually WooCommerce. So what we could do is to create this composite index for these two columns, and I'll just click this and apply. It will apply this index. Now it shows it's okay, so this fix was applied and we don't have to worry about that. So like this particular problem is solved. There is another one here. Let's see. This is very similar issue for index for WP post meta. Let's add it as well. And yeah, that's it. All fixes are applied. So we have pretty much optimized these queries. We could do purge all now. So to clean up this table. So in case that's something I would suggest for maintenance. So do the optimizations, then clean it up. We keep it open, so if any other slow queries happen, they will show up in the table, but we would know that there are new ones and not the old ones. So going back to site health, we don't have any slow queries anymore. Site looks good. There is something on the front end. Let's check this. What's going on here? These are the default options. Besides one of them, which is deliberately not enabled by default, everything else is. These are the options that are, from my experience, pretty much standard, and they are safe to be enabled on any site. But if you know that your site relies on any one of them, like I don't know what could be, like you want to show emojis, for example, you need to disable some of these options. Or if you're using this XML-RPC, sorry, then you should uncheck it to enable it. But most of the sites don't really use it, so it's basically disabled by default. And here, like this is the one setting that is not enabled by default because it's potentially destructive. If your site theme or plugin is not well written, this could make the site like not load properly. But I trust that the default size, like the plugins we used, are okay. So I'll just enable it. What it will do is it will make that all of the scripts besides jQuery will be loaded in the footer. So very late when the site loads, they will be loaded very late. And what it changes is that it means the site loads faster for the user. So it loads HTML, CSS first, and not scripts, because scripts usually fire anyway only after the site was fully loaded. So like nobody needs like buttons, clicks, or chat windows before the site is fully rendered. So I like in most cases I would recommend enabling that, but please then go check your site to see that everything is still working. I'll do that in a second, but first I wanted to it still is showing in yellow, so that's probably a bug. I'll check that later, but it should be okay now in green, because we've pretty much enabled everything out there. So that's supposed to show in green. But let's see now the page. As you can see, after all the optimizations, it was loading in 0.75 seconds before. Now it loads in half a second. It's got revert 1.3, 4 to 9. So it's still, even though the baseline was pretty good, we still managed to optimize and cut the loading times by half, pretty much. Like, it's mostly because of the Redis, but the other optimizations also help. So let's go check this site if it's still working. So this is like the usual and checkup. You should be doing that after all of the changes you make on the site, all of the optimization pages, to make sure that nothing's broken. Now adding to the cards, which should still work. Let's see, yeah, it does work. Going back to plugin, like, let's see this. Let's pretty easy to check out. Yeah, everything is working. So so the optimization is fine, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That would be the basic, really basic use of the. Oh, we see that some slow SQL showed up here. Let's go back. See, what did we find? Yeah, so it's it barely got that, because like it's 50 milliseconds, but in this case we can't do much about that. So it's pretty much already optimized. So in this case, I would suggest increasing this to 0.1, which is 100 milliseconds, which will be much less aggressive threshold for slow queries. I will just push that, and no, from now on we should only see the queries that are over 100 milliseconds. And yeah, that's it for the demo. I haven't showed you like most of the models here, because I've covered that in one of the previous videos. If you have questions about any specific model, let me know. I'll be happy to show them, and I'm planning to record more of these videos anyway. And if you have a site that is very slow, and you would like to use WP MultiTool, but you're not feeling like you can do it yourself, let me know. I'll be happy to install it there, to the optimizations, record another demo on the live side, to see, to deal with the real problems that people are dealing with, instead of this example, this demo. And yeah, that's it for now. If you have any comments, questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Bye.